Success, joy, happiness. Let me tell you the cold truth. Most people stay stuck because they react to everything. Someone rolls their eyes at you, you carry it all day. A comment online, you stop creating. Your friend doesn't text you back fast enough. Now your whole mood is off. And that is emotional slavery. You're not unbothered, you're controlled. And the worst part is, so they don't even know the power they have over you. It's time to break that. If you want to go to the next level in your life, joy, happiness, and gratitude, you need to train for it like a warrior trains for war. You need to become mentally untouchable. You want peace, breaks and crappiness, and gratitude. Then stop renting space in your head to chaos. You want clarity? Then stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. And gratitude. You want power? Then learn how to sit in silence and not need to prove a damn thing. Here's the truth no one tells you. When you stop responding to nonsense, stop showing it you think staying quiet is weak. No, you know what's weak? And gratitude. Exploding every time someone tries to poke your emotions. You know what's powerful. Smiling when they expect you to break. Because in gratitude, be calm like a bomb. You don't need to react. Because you know who are. You don't owe anyone a response. How only happiness and gratitude. You don't owe anyone your energy. Let them talk. Let them assume. Let them spin stories. Success, joy, happiness, and gratitude. Because while they're busy watching you, you're busy building something they can't touch. Here's the mindset shift. And gratitude. If it doesn't pay you, grow you, or evolve you, it doesn't deserve you. Don't explain. Don't beg. Don't chase. Don't defend. Apparatus and gratitude. Train your nervous system to remain calm under pressure. Train your mind to observe without absorbing. And train your soul to rise above the drama. Emotional control is the secret weapon that transforms weakness into impenetrable strength. Success, joy, happiness, and gratitude. And every moment you choose to harness your inner calm is a direct strike against a world designed to provoke you into chaos, pettiness, and gratitude. Because every second you spend reacting rather than responding is a second you surrender power that was meant to be yours alone. And gratitude. In that silent space where you refuse to be pulled into the gravitational field of others' negativity. Weston. Gratitude, you discover the true essence of your own might, and as you stand tall amid the storm. And gratitude, refusing to let every slight or every harsh word derail your focus. And gratitude, you tap into a reservoir of strength that proves that your emotional energy is not for sale. At success, joy, and gratitude, and you claim ownership of your spirit by deciding that your reactions are yours to control, and in doing so, and gratitude, you render the attacks of the world meaningless against the fortress of your inner peace. And gratitude. And each time you take a deep breath in the midst of turmoil. Success, joy, happiness, and gratitude. You are silently declaring that your worth cannot be measured by the fleeting opinions of those who do not understand your journey. And is your gratitude. And when you learn to let the trivialities of others slide off your skin like water off a lotus leaf, you are, in fact, self and gratitude, manifesting the highest form of self-respect and demonstrating that your emotional response is not an automatic reflex, but a carefully crafted choice that fuels your rise above mediocrity. Send gratitude. And it is in these moments of deliberate calm that you recognize the sheer power you have over your own destiny, and put us in gratitude, because when you master the art of not taking offense, joy, happiness, and gratitude, you command an authority over your emotions that is unchallenged by the external noise of a volatile world. And every time you choose not to be provoked, that's joy, happiness, and gratitude, you reinforce the idea that nothing and no one can dictate the rhythm of your heartbeat or the steadiness of your resolve. And this is the kind of power that echoes far beyond the confines of everyday moments, influencing decisions, fueling ambitions, wealth, success, joy, happiness, and gratitude, and creating an aura of resilience that is irresistible to those who recognize strength when they see it. When and with every instance of self control, success, joy, happiness, and gratitude, you create a narrative of mastery over your emotions that tells the world you are not a victim of circumstance, but a creator of your own story, joy, and gratitude. And as you rise above the petty dramas that seek to distract you, you learn to cherish the calm as a priceless ally, prosperity, success, joy, happiness, and gratitude, one that stands by you when chaos reigns, reminding you that the truest victories are those won within. Success, joy, happiness, and gratitude, that the battles fought inside your mind are the ones that shape the landscape of your reality, and gratitude. And when you guard your emotional center with unwavering discipline, joy, happiness, and gratitude, you build a fortress so formidable that even the fiercest storms become opportunities to display your unyielding strength. Joy, happiness, and gratitude, and every challenge that attempts to shake your foundation only serves to remind you of the immense power that lies dormant within. Success, joy, happiness, and gratitude, waiting to be awakened by the clarity of a focused mind and the determination to remain unshaken in the face of adversity. And in that clarity and gratitude, you see that emotions are not a weakness but a tool, one that, when channeled correctly, and gratitude can become the driving force behind transformative success. And by mastering your responses, you dismantle the narrative that says you are a slave to circumstance. Joy, happiness, and gratitude, boldly proclaiming that the true measure of success is not in how high you can shout joy, happiness, and gratitude, but in how deeply you can remain unruffled amidst the wildest storms. And every time you rise above the immediate urge to lash out, success, joy, happiness, and gratitude, but you are not only exercising discipline, you are carving out a space where your authentic power can flourish. Success, joy, happiness, and gratitude. And it is in that space that become an inspiration to those around you who yearn to break free from the cycle of reactive living. And gratitude. And as you continue to refine your ability to hold your ground, faticati subscritus and gratitude, you start to see that your emotional control serves as a beacon for others struggling to find their own inner strength. And gratitude, because when you stand firm in your resolve, happiness and gratitude, you demonstrate that it is not the volume of reaction, but the quiet strength of intention that truly moves mountains. So happiness and gratitude. And as you celebrate each moment of clarity and each instance of choosing response over reaction, success, joy, happiness, and gratitude, you are paving a golden path towards a future defined not by external validation, but by the internal satisfaction of knowing that your spirit is unbreakable. And gratitude, and every heartbeat synchronized with calm assurance, is a testament to your resilience. Suppian, happiness, and gratitude, echoing the undeniable truth that true power comes from within, crafted by the choices you make in the crucible of adversity. Parity, success, joy, happiness, and gratitude, that crucible, you forge a self that is not at the mercy of external circumstances, but is the master of its own fate. Prosperous and safe. Happitude and this realization floods your entire being with a profound sense of liberation as you understand that no one can steal your joy unless you hand over the keys to your sanctuary. And gratitude, and with each encounter that tests your resolve, success, joy, happiness, and gratitude, you are presented with the opportunity to assert your superiority over the transient chaos of the outside world. Success, joy, gratitude, and these moments of triumph are the building blocks of a legacy that is defined not by fleeting reactions, but by sustained, humble composure. And prosperity, success, joy, happiness, and gratitude, and every instance where you choose to let go of negativity is an act of rebellion against a society that thrives on triggering emotional responses. Joy, happiness, and gratitude. And by doing so, you establish a clear boundary between what is within your control and what is not. Prosperity and gratitude, and you begin to realize that control over your emotional state is the ultimate freedom. Success, joy, happiness, and gratitude, an inalienable right that you can claim at any moment by simply choosing calmness over conflict. And as you continue on this journey, curse and gratitude, you awaken to the fact that every emotional curveball thrown your way is merely an invitation to rise higher. Prosperity, sex, and gratitude to demonstrate that the true warriors in life are not those who can bulldoze their way through obstacles by force. And gratitude, but those who can deflect adversity with the unyielding shield of emotional mastery. And in this mastery, and find the prosperity and gratitude. You find that the power to determine your own happiness lies squarely in your hands. Joy, happiness, and gratitude. And every time you resist the temptation to let another's bitterness seep into your soul, and gratitude, you confirm that you are the architect of your own destiny. And gratitude, sculpting a future where unit outshines the darkness of a reactive world. Happiness and gratitude, and it is this steadfast commitment to emotional independence that fuels an unstoppable momentum. And gratitude, propelling you forward even when the path is littered with the debris of criticism and doubt. And prosperity, excess, joy, and happiness. And every breath you take in composed defiance sends a ripple through the fabric of a society conditioned to react impulsively. Happiness and gratitude, inspiring those around you to discover that calmness is not a passive state, but a dynamic force. And gratitude, a revolutionary act of self-empowerment that disrupts the cycle of negativity. And as you embrace this power, proxelst and gratitude, you begin to see that emotional control is not the absence of feeling, joy, happiness, and gratitude, but the conscious decision to allow your feelings to serve you rather than enslave you. And gratitude, it is in that choice that you extract the truth that every emotion is a tool. Success, joy, happiness, and gratitude, one that can be sharpened and honed into a weapon against mediocrity. And each time you rise above the impulse to react without thought, joy, happiness, and gratitude, you shatter the illusion that you are bound by your circumstances, declaring instead that you are the unbreakable master of your inner world. And gratitude, in that mastery lies the ultimate revolution. Success, joy, happiness, and gratitude, one that sweeps away the remnants of external chaos with the quiet confidence of someone who has truly learned that their peace is not negotiable. Success, joy, happiness, and as you move through each day with the certainty that your emotional state is your personal domain, you access joy, happiness, and gratitude. You discover that the real power is not in the loudness of your words or the intensity of your actions, but in the gratitude, but in the unwavering calm that perceiving in the midst of life's fiercest battles. Prosperity, success, joy, happiness, and gratitude. And this calm is the invisible force that propels you to heights you once believed were reserved for the bold and the relentless. And through every trial and tribulation, and gratitude and your ability to maintain that sense of inner sanctity becomes the defining characteristic of your journey of self-joy, happiness, and gratitude. A journey where every setback is met with a poised defiance that shatters expectations and silences the critics with the quiet assurance that true strength is not measured by how loudly you can shout in gratitude, but by how profoundly you can remain unbothered. Joy, happiness, and gratitude. And as you look in the mirror each day and witness the reflection of someone who has conquered the tumultuous waves of emotional reactivity and gratitude, you stand in awe of the power you have cultivated within. Success, joy, happiness, and gratitude, a power that not only propels you forward on the path to greatness, but also illuminates the truth for everyone who dares to dream of a life unburdened by the chaos of constant emotional upheaval. Happiness and gratitude. Your peace is your weapon, and the moment you stop reacting, explaining, defending, or chasing is the moment you become untouchable. Sudden happiness and gratitude. Because nothing scares people more than a person who doesn't flinch, doesn't need to be understood. Success, joy, happiness, and gratitude. And while the world is busy trying to provoke you, your silence starts to sound louder than all their noise combined. Happiness and gratitude. Because the person who controls their peace controls the room, the situation, and ultimately the outcome. And the second you realize that not everything requires your energy is the second you begin to protect the most powerful currency you have, your focus. Success, joy, happiness, gratitude, your calm, your peace, And in that protection, you are sending a clear message to everyone who ever tried to disturb you. However, is and gratitude. I am no longer accessible to chaos, and I don't owe you my presence, my reaction, or even my words. Because the truth is, sir, and gratitude. Once you decide your peace is non-negotiable, people who once had power over your emotions suddenly become powerless. Happiness, and it hits different. Gratitude. When you stop showing up to battles you never agreed to fight. Happiness and gratitude. Because when you stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you, and gratitude, you stop bleeding for those who were never worthy of your wounds. And as you detach from the drama, prosperity and gratitude, you start to see how much of your pain was simply your refusal to let go of things that didn't deserve to stay in your life. Lumpiness and gratitude. And that realization cuts deep because it makes you understand that peace was never about silence. It was about the power of disengagement. The power of saying this no longer has a place in my mind, in my day, or in my spirit. And when you master that, success, joy, happiness, and gratitude, you be gratitude. Because the most dangerous kind of person, the one who refuses to break character, no matter how loud the world gets, with sell joy, happiness, and gratitude. And when they can't shake your peace, they lose their grip on your life because people expect you to react. They feed off your emotions. They push buttons just to see if they still work. Success, joy, and gratitude. And the moment they realize those buttons are disconnected is the moment you become a mystery. And gratitude and that mystery is what gives you the upper hand at every environment, every relationship, every test life throws at you. Prosperity, success, joy, happiness, and gratitude. Because they can't read you, they can't manipulate what they can't access. And when you start choosing silence over arguments, over pride, clarity over chaos, you begin to walk in a level of strength that shakes the insecure, confuses the manipulative, a success and elevates you beyond the reach of petty problems. And you start to understand that walking away is not weakness. It's wisdom, joy, happiness, and gratitude. Because every time you don't clap back, every time you don't get dragged into pointless confrontation, happiness and gratitude, you are proving that not everything demands your attention, deserves your energy. Equal happiness and gratitude. And that energy you used to waste on proving your worth is now fueling your growth. And that growth is what makes you unstoppable. Success, joy, gratitude. Because you're no longer fighting for a seat at tables that never built to honor you. You're building your own table in silence. And gratitude. And planting your roots in private. And letting your results speak in rooms your voice never had to enter. And gratitude. And the people who once thought they could shake, you now sit confused by your calm. And gratis and gratitude, wondering how they lost access to the they used to trigger so easily. And gratitude. And gratitude. And the answer, so you got tired of sacrificing your peace just to keep others comfortable. And in that tiredness and gratitude. And you found your truth. And in that truth, you found your edge. And when peace becomes your edge, no one can compete with you. Renaissance and gratitude. Because you're not battling emotions anymore. You're building empires. So if joy, happiness, and gratitude, and your boundaries are no longer just invisible fences. They're electric walls that teach people how to treat you without you ever having to raise your voice. And gratitude, and that kind of control cannot be bought, imitated, or copied. Such joy, happiness, and gratitude, because it comes from the kind of self-respect that's forged in silence and refined through solitude. And endurance and gratitude. And while others are scrambling to be seen, heard, and validated, you're choosing to be grounded, reserved, and composed. And gratitude, because the world doesn't need another loud soul with no control. It needs more people who understand the power of stillness. So joy, happiness, and gratitude. And that power doesn't come from being passive. It comes from being intentional. And gratitude. From understanding that you don't win by outshouting your enemies. You win by outlasting them. Parity, success, joy, happiness, and gratitude, and the ones who keep climbing, because your peace isn't just emotional, it's strategic. Prosperity, success, joy, attitude. It's how you preserve your vision, protect your future, and position yourself for what's truly aligned with your purpose, happiness, and gratitude. And the reason so many people stay stuck is because they keep trading their peace for people who were never meant to walk their path, and gratitude. And every time you allow chaos to pull you back, you delay what was meant for you, joy, happiness, and gratitude. But the moment you decide to become unavailable to nonsense is the moment life starts flowing toward you because you've cleared the noise, happiness, and gratitude. Cut the weight and created space for what truly matters. And when your spirit becomes uncluttered, your vision becomes sharper. Your happy attitude, your goals become clearer, and your soul starts vibrating on a level where negativity can't survive. And gratitude. And the people who used to drain you start to fade, not because you told them to leave, and gratitude, but because peace became the language they could no longer speak. Gratitude, and that is how you win, by becoming so aligned with your own frequency that everything not meant for you becomes uncomfortable in your presence. And the beauty of a gratitude